I've done a couple of videos in the past showing Elvis's Japanese mail order CD box set releases, including this one that you can see behind me there, complete single collection. But Elvis's music was actually available on mail order releases from as early as 1963. And in this video I'm going to show you a couple of later box sets which included some Elvis music along with that of other artists. So the first one I have to show you is this one here, Seiki no Superstar. It means superstars of the century. And if you look on the back there, it's completely blank. The box is covered with some kind of cloth type surface, and there you can see the Japanese title again down the spine. The reason why there's no titles on the front is because these were advertised in newspapers, and no doubt the record company had their own publications as well, so people knew what they were buying when they got these sets. There was no need to put the tracks on the box anywhere, and you can also see that there's no obi on mail order releases. Another thing to note about these sets is at the bottom you can see the Nipper logo here, Victor logo, and then in Japanese there it says Victor Family Club, or pronounced Victor Family Club in Japanese, and that was the company that produced the sets that we're going to be looking at today. So let's see what you got in this one here. Century Superstars of the Century booklet. This is nearly the same size as an LP cover. Not much to see in the booklet. It's basically lyrics and song titles in Japanese. There are actually two LPs filled up with Elvis music, and the first one is this one here. Very nice cover there. The covers are quite thin, very similar to the old 1960s Japanese LPs, but they're not laminated. All in Japanese on the back there, with the song titles in the top corner here. I'll put a list of songs on the screen. Just quickly show you the labels. These are all in RCA. And an interesting thing about mail order releases is the text on the labels is almost all in Japanese, whereas regular RCA and Victor Japanese releases basically used English on the labels. The music on these records is basically greatest hits. Unfortunately, they're in random order. I kind of prefer it when they put them in chronological order. This is the second one, a really good cover there, and the design on the back is very similar. I'll just quickly show you the other releases in the set. None of these are by Elvis. There's a Pat Boone LP in there. There's also a Perry Como LP. I actually quite like Perry Como's music these days. Must be getting old. Bing Crosby. Can't say the same. Can't say the same for old Bing though. Brenda Lee. Harry Belafonte. I'm sure this box is going to fall over. Got to be careful here. And the last one is Louis Armstrong. And I'll just try and show you the inside of the box if I can, because that is where all the song titles are printed. Just there on the left side. Okay, let's have a look at the cassette. The cassette version looks very similar. The packaging is slightly bigger than a 7-inch single. Blank again on the back. Title again down the spine. This one is plastic, however. Opening it up, you get a leaflet telling you how to handle cassette tapes on one side and how to handle records on the other. The front of the booklet looks the same as the LP version, although in this case you do get some color photographs of the artists on the inside, as well as a couple of pages of text about the artists, and then at the back the inevitable English lyrics. The cassettes not much to look at really. This is the Elvis cassette box, and this one cassette contains all 24 songs that you get on the 2 LP set, exactly the same songs. There is the cassette itself, and the labels, as you can see, are also in Japanese, not in English. And Japanese cassettes continued to be released with the orange RCA labels, paper labels, on the cassette itself, well into the 1980s. I'll just show you how well designed this box was. I can just get the booklet out of the way. This is what it looks like on the inside. This white section here at the bottom, that's just a little sort of foam rectangle. And it's very easy to get the cassettes out because at the top of the box they have these little cutaways for your fingers. So you don't have to try and force them out from the side or the top. It's just very easy to do that and get them out. So it's a very well designed box. And the second box set I want to show you is this one here. This one dates from 1982. The one we just looked at was released in 1980. This one is called Natsukashi no S-Ban Awa. I'll try to explain what that means. S-Ban, which you can see just here at the top, that is the name given to Japanese 78s released on the Victor label. And I'll try to explain why that was. This is a 78 of Love Me Tender and Any Way You Want Me. And if you look at the labels, right in the middle there you can see a big letter S. And you can see the catalogue number on the right side there, S281. So all Victor 78s had a catalogue number beginning with S. That's why they were referred to as S-Ban. So the title, to go back to the title again, S-Ban Awa. Awa is from the English word hour. So S-Ban Awa. And it refers to a radio show that existed from 1952 right the way through till 1969, by which time, of course, 78s were long gone, but they continued to use that same title for the radio show right until the end. In fact, there are 1 or 2 songs on this box set that couldn't possibly have been broadcast on the radio, on that particular radio show, because they date from after 1969. But anyway, so basically it means Memories of S-Ban Awa. And you can see from the front here that it has more artists on this set than the previous box set. In fact, there are even more artists on the set than you can see on the box here on the front. But once again, Elvis has his own LP because he's the main man on all of these sets. Let me just show you the inside of the box because it's really well designed. Once again, on the left side, on the inside, you can see all the tracks there. But then on the right, you can see this piece of cardboard with a great big piece cut out of the middle. And the reason why that's there is because that is where the booklet sits. So the idea is the booklet fits there nice and flush against that piece of cardboard. You put the records on top and they don't get warped. And that's a pretty good idea because you don't want to be looking at the booklet every time you play the records, at least not after the first couple of goes. And I'll just show you what's in here. There are no pictures actually, it's all basically lyrics. Actually no, there are some photos, I tell a lie. There you go, there's some information on Elvis. And all the titles in Japanese and English at the front. We'll have a quick look at one of the inner sleeves. They all look like that, exactly the same, and as you can see there are more artists pictured on this one than on the front of the box. And in fact, there are even more artists on the records than you can see on the inner sleeve here. So you might be wondering, how can you tell which record is which if all the inner sleeves are the same? Well, you have to look on the back because they're all die cut like that. So you can see one of the labels. And this is side 2 of the Elvis record. And once again, the labels are mainly in Japanese. You can see the composer credits there are in English. There were a couple of other mail order LP box sets that were released containing Elvis's music, and I'm still on the lookout for those. If I ever get them, I'll show them to you. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Take care. Cheers. Let me tell you, let me true, all my dreams fulfill. Oh, darling, I love you.